Hi guys. I wanted to share something with you that I honestly never thought I would ever have in my wildest dreams. Um, if you would have asked me a year ago if I would ever have this sitting in my garage, I would tell you, hell no. Not possible, would never do it, no way. Um, and really, all I did is just make some life changes. I actually got laid off from John Deere and I went back to school, and it just seemed like things just kept coming. I collected my GI Bill for school, plus John Deere paid for my school, so I got a big chunk of money back when I went to school. Um, I was on unemployment while I was going to school, so I was collecting that, plus my GI Bill was paying me housing allowance. Tax returns, I just had a lot of money coming in that I never expected. And it allowed me to pay everything that I had off. As of a month ago, all I had was a cell phone payment and a gym membership. That was it. I was fortunate. I got lucky. But that being said, me and my girlfriend still have a mortgage. We still have electrical bill, gas bill, food. She has 3 kids. I have my own daughter. So we do not live on a pedestal by no means. We are not rich. We do not make $100,000 a year. And I just wanted to tell you that because I want you to know if there's something in your life that you want, don't go out and get it. It doesn't mean just go out and get it. You only live once, because some things are just out of our grasp. But if you work hard enough, you can achieve it. If you're good with your money, you can get what you want. That being said, you might have to give up other things in your life. I used to smoke. I quit smoking. It saves me, hell, $7 a day by not smoking. You take that over the year, it's a lot of money. I'm not going to do the math for you. You can do the math. It's a lot of money. There are men that after work, and women after work, go to the bar and have 2 or 3 beers. Well, at $3 a beer, that's $6 a day. You do that every day, plus what? 10 beers on the weekend. It's a lot of money. There are people that will tell you, hey, I spend $400 a month in the bar. I don't do that. I barely even drink beer at home. So, and I eat very cheaply. I eat a lot of chicken. Chicken's cheap. I don't eat a lot of beef. Beef's pretty expensive anymore, so I stick to chicken a lot. That being said, here it is. It's a brand spanking new Corvette Z06, 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. It is, in my mind, a car that gives you the biggest bang for your buck. I did a ton of research on this car. I did a ton of research on other cars. I was not stupid when it came to buying this car. I looked at Camaros, I looked at Dodges, I looked at the Hellcat, I looked at lesser models. I did my research. I sat on YouTube for hours upon hours upon hours before I bought this car. When we get down to it, the reason I bought a Corvette, if you would have asked me 2 months ago, would you ever own a Corvette if you could even afford one? I would have said, no, I don't like Corvettes. They're uncomfortable, they're rough riding, they're just ugly. I do not like them. Until I seen the C7 Corvettes. Holy shit. They are absolutely beautiful. I actually wanted a Camaro. I was diehard on a Camaro. Ever since the new model came out when the Transformer movie came out. I thought that was the most beautiful car I've ever seen. Large and big and had tons of horsepower, and I wanted a ZL1. I knew I could never afford one 10 years ago. I couldn't. I was up to my eyeballs in debt. When the time came a couple months ago when I knew I could afford one, I started looking. I drove a couple Z06s. I looked at the new ones coming out. I even thought about ordering a new Camaro with every option that I wanted. When it came down to it, I couldn't get what I wanted until next year. I would have to wait an entire year until the next model came out. I wanted a certain blue color with an automatic. Yes, I want an automatic. Technology has changed. This Corvette goes 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds in an automatic. In a manual, it's like 3.2. So you can't shift as fast as these new transmission shifts. The Camaro was actually coming out with a 10-speed. 650 horsepower, 650 pounds of torque with an LT4 engine in them. I wanted a sunroof. I wanted certain packages that were on certain cars, but I didn't want to buy that entire package. It was the 1LE, but I didn't want the suspension because they're really rough riding. It's a track car, and I didn't want the suspension, but I wanted the ground effects. When it was all said and done, I would be spending almost $90,000 on a Camaro, and I would have to wait an entire year for it. And when I did get it, I'd probably get it in the winter, and I would have my car sitting in the garage for 3 months, brand spanking new. Did not want to do that. So I kept looking at Camaros. I started looking at a Hellcat. As soon as I sat in the Hellcat, I just wasn't impressed. It was a muscle car. It felt like a muscle car. It felt like a big boat. I didn't like it. I'm not really a Dodge lover either. Have I owned Dodges? Yes. I'm just not. I was more of a Chevy guy. I have a Chevy pickup. I'm just a Chevy guy. I always have been. My dad's had Chevys. My mom's had Chevys. My grandfather had old Chevys. Just always kind of been a Chevy guy. So I sat down and I started thinking about it more, watching YouTube videos. The guy at the dealership called me and said, "Hey Matt, why don't you come look at a Corvette?" No, I don't like them. They're ugly. I don't want them. He goes, "They've changed. Just come look at them." He goes, "I don't think you're thinking about the same car anymore." I said, okay. I came down to Green Chevrolet here in the Quad Cities in East Moline. Talked to a guy named Anthony. Amazing guy. Was one of those guys that didn't push anything on you. You could tell he wanted me to be in something that I wanted to be in, that I would love and enjoy. He knew from doing a check at the bank and stuff, he knew I didn't have a ton of money. And when this purchase was going to be something that was going to be with me for a while, it was going to be something that I took a lot of pride in. And he wanted me to be just that. I came and I looked at the new Corvettes and I was like, wow, this thing is absolutely beautiful. Didn't look at the sticker price on them. I just, I walked around it. I was like, yeah, it's fucking gorgeous. He opened the door, and the moment I looked inside and I sat in the car, I was blown away. It is a driver-oriented car. When you sit in this car, you are sitting in performance. You are sitting in just a supercar. You are sitting in a supercar. You were sitting in something that should cost $250,000. And when you look at the stats, it's a car that can even keep up with the $250,000 car. It had, the leather, the stitching, the displays on the screens, the seats. It blew the Camaro absolutely out of the water. Absolutely out of the water. When you sat in this Corvette, you were sitting in something a step above a Corvette or a step above a Camaro. When you drive down the road, the first day I owned it, I probably had 10 people give me a thumbs up. I would have never got that in a Camaro. There's something about this car, when people see it, they love it. And when I really think about it, I haven't seen a lot of these on the road, so I looked that up also. They only made 25 to 27,000 of these cars in the world every year. The Z06, they have only made about 5 to 6,000 of them in the world every year. So it's not a very big market. There's not a lot of Corvettes on the market. When you drive down the road, you see Camaros all the time. And maybe I just see them because I do love the looks of the Camaro. I'm still in love with the Camaro. I always will be. When it came down to brass tacks, the Corvette was just a better car. It was a more well put together car. Just the time they put into it, especially the interior. So we sat down and got right down to it, and I ended up taking a quite a long loan out on this car, not so I could afford it, just so I wasn't in a tight spot. I also got a paint, or not a paint, it was a clear coat on it that cost about $800 when I bought the car. It wasn't, this was a 1-year-old car with 6,000 miles when I bought it. So, and the owner previous of this is a doctor, trades them in every year, takes a huge cut on them every year. So this is not a brand spanking new car either. This car, MSRP, brand spanking new, off the showroom floor, is $93,000 without tax, title, and license. So you're looking at over $100,000. I'm going to tell you right now, people, I didn't spend anywhere close to $100,000. No way. Didn't do it. When I'm a little older and I'm ready to trade this car in, maybe, hopefully, maybe, get a ZL1 Corvette. They're about $115,000, $130,000. We'll see where life takes me. I might have to go buy a Toyota Prius or something like that, because you never know what hits you in life. People are going to ask me, are they fast? Oh, God. People that go out and soup these up, yeah, it would be neat to tell people you have 800 horsepower, but honestly, there is absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason. This car in first and second gear, punching it, scares the shit out of me. You know, you get in an old muscle car and you punch the throttle, they don't have shit to what these new cars have. I thought my Duramax diesel with 550, 600 horse was fast. No. That's pretty much another reason I went towards the Corvette also. It's faster than the Camaro. I mean, I punched a Camaro down pretty hard test driving it, and they're 800 pounds heavier. They are a slower car. The Hellcat, they feel a little bit slower to me also. I've watched a bunch of drag races and stuff on YouTube. It's kind of hit or miss if the Corvette wins or not. That's really not what I was looking for. I wanted something to enjoy on the weekend. I wanted something to take my girlfriend out on dates. I wanted something to, take the top off and give my daughter a ride and let her enjoy something on the weekends. It wasn't a daily driver. It's not something that's going to leave the garage when it's raining. It's not something that's going to leave the garage when it's snowing. Honestly, I can't do that. Even if I could get traction, it's not something I can do. The car costs too much for me to do that. I'm sure there's a lot of other questions that will come up. As you can tell, my YouTube, it's all over the place. It's things I enjoy doing. I enjoy flying my drone, taking videos on my drone. I enjoy, fish tanks. I enjoy playing video games with the kids. They're just things that interest me at the time. If you would have caught me 5 years ago, it would have been all about my Duramax. I was really big into that, how to put more power into them, how to make it look better. It all comes down to money. It never happened. It still damn near looks like it did when I bought it 5 years ago. But it's just stuff that I'm interested in. I'm not on YouTube for a bunch of followers. I'm not on YouTube for a bunch of likes. I'm not here to make money. I just wanted to share things with you that I think you might think are interesting also. Being a car guy, I think this is pretty fucking awesome. Let's get it turned on here. I might not have the keys in here. I don't have the keys in here, so we can't start it. But see-through roof, you can see how everything is just around the driver. Very easy controls. Another thing I liked is the heads-up display changes. It's not like a Camaro where they just tell you your speed. This tells you everything imaginable. Down here, it's not digital, analog like a lot of them are. It's digital. This is also pretty freaking cool. Here's tickets to the Iowa game. Took girlfriend to the very first college NFL game she's ever been to. It was a college game, but the first time she's been in a pretty significant game. Did put these stickers on. I'm going to get rid of them. They look chintzy. It looks like a freaking sticker. But one thing that Corvette did, or Chevy did, that is absolutely retarded, and I don't understand it, is, is this a mirror? Yeah. They put these stupid mirrors in here. Great. That's great. You know what? I don't need a mirror in a Corvette. What I didn't need is the warning seatbelt safety sticker that is underneath here that looks completely cheesy and retarded. You get into, you know, a $100,000 car brand new, and there are freaking stickers on your visors is absolutely ridiculous. And then during the day, when you have this down, guess who's seen your chintzy retarded sticker all day? People outside on the streets. So I put these stickers on top. Hopefully it looks a little better, but I'll go get the keys here and start it up so you can hear what this thing sounds like. The exhaust on these factory are pretty phenomenal. They are absolutely insane when it comes to the exhaust on these things. Everything on these is electronic. When I close this, it actually shuts it down. The door handles are electronic. They're a pad that you put your fingers on, and they are all electronic. If you ever get stuck in these, like say the battery dies, there's a lever here that you flip and it will unlock your doors. And in the key fob, there is a key that will go right underneath here and will unlock your trunk, and then there's a lever in the trunk that you pull. But let's go get the keys and start it up so you can hear it. I got the GoPro up on the dash, but this is the keys. Some people have said, oh, don't lose these keys. Do you want protection on your keys? This is the key that actually goes in your trunk that pops out here. But I've had people tell me these are $1,400. I've had people tell me they're $500. I looked them up. They're like $100, $80. I don't know. I don't know if it's to get them programmed. I'm not going to look into it. It's no big deal. Hopefully I'll never lose the two that I have. But the nice thing is about this, you can have them in your pocket. You can have them in the glove box. You do not need your key to start the car. Now they do seem to take a while to start when they're closed, but once they're warmed up, they start right up real fast. The exhaust on these is absolutely phenomenal. Like I told you, when you start up a Camaro, it does not sound like that. They just don't. They don't have the exhaust that these have. Also, you can put these in a certain mode and it'll quiet the entire exhaust down. It will shut off the exhaust a little bit, restrict it. I don't know. I think it has to restrict it somehow. But anyway, it shuts it down to the point where you can drive down the road and it's just absolutely just phenomenally quiet. And then once you hammer back into it, opens right back up and it sounds like it does there in the garage. But we will, in the next video, I think, we'll take you for a little drive. Thanks.